Mustangs tonight with 12 points, but after it was 10-10 the first quarter, the Raiders got hot. Number 24, David Zanger, had 19 points to lead the way. He was followed by number 34, Johnny Pro, who came off the bench. He scored a dozen points tonight, and he was tied in scoring by number 40 right here. Danny Keys gets the rebound, puts it in. He also had 12 points. The Raiders led 28-20 at the half, 53-28 at the end of three quarters. Let's go to the scoreboard. You see the final score, 75-44. The Raiders shot incredibly in this ball game. They're now 16-10 on the season, and they will be in the finals Friday night against either Liberty or Payson. Now, after the game, I talked with the Zanger cousins about QND's performance.
The way we started, we didn't play very good. We weren't running our offense or anything, but the way we played the second half, I think we'll be capable of beating a lot of people.
You guys are passing the ball around, getting the open shots.
Yeah, we moved it around good, and we were just making them.
Well, once we got going, we knew we were okay because we knew that these guys weren't quite as tall as we were, and their zone wasn't going to stop our outside shooting. And once David and Ketters and Danny started hitting, then we knew we were okay. We were going to go through it.
At the other regionals tonight at Pittsfield, it was Jeff Hayden with 20 points, Frank McCartney with 19.
Each other tonight at the Pitt, game time 7:30. The Raiders made it to the regional finals by beating Unity last night 75-44. The game was much closer than that at halftime, just an 8-point spread. But Raider coach Bob Keys then made some adjustments for his
ball, not in shooting position, that we were catching the ball, holding it, and looking for something to happen rather than to get good ball movement and good player movement. And of course, then I think our second half defenses probably helped us somewhat in getting our running game going a little bit too. And the combinations of the things just help things go. And of course, when the ball goes in the hole for you, that also helps.
And it did go in the hole. Tickets for tomorrow night's finals go on sale at QND, 8 o'clock in the morning at Alan Epler's office. Other regional games tonight include at Pittsfield, Winchester.
Right, at Pittsfield tonight, Winchester beat Perry in the Pittsfield game as 80.
Augusta at the Brown County Regional. Well, first Missouri, then Nebraska, and don't be surprised if the Oklahoma Sooners are soon eliminated.
They need to.
7 straight years of do-or-die competition. It's no wonder the fans get so involved in this matchup. It's a sudden death game. For the loser, the season is over. And it's been that way for Liberty 4 out of the last 6 years.
Well, I'm just happy that they gave us the chance to, that we got the chance to play them again, because last year we got blown out, and we were all juniors, and everybody, starting after that game, they said, next year we're going to be in it, with the QND again. And here we are, and it's nice to know that we got a chance.
Well, it's what we've been looking forward to all season. It's really what we wanted, so I think we're ready to go. We just hope we can get them.
Okay, now that's not the only game in town tonight. The Blue Devils are also at home.
Pro did.
We win the game. Half-court game. We need to get the full-court game going. I thought maybe if we push the ball up a little bit, we might get that going.
Of course, for Pro and Ketters, this was old hat. They faced the same kind of pressure in the closing seconds of the state soccer finals.
I think heavyweights going toe-to-toe. Mike Ealing had 3 quick baskets to put QND in the lead 10-6 in the first quarter. But then after that point, the lead just went back and forth and back and forth. Liberty's Todd Fox kept his team close. Number 32 there had 33 points tonight. But QND opened up some breathing room in the fourth quarter thanks to 2 baskets from Kevin Ketters. There was one of them. Now, Liberty got a basket at the very end of the ball game, right at the buzzer, to make it the final score. But the QND crowd had some reason to go crazy. Yeah, they had reason to celebrate. Let's go to the final score right now.
Warsaw, of course.
62, Liberty 61. The Raiders now 17-10 on the season. They will
Winchester 57-47. Winchester will go on to the Petersburg Porter Regional. They will play Wednesday night.
And 7. Now, after the game, I talked with some of the Raiders about going another step in postseason play.
It's a hell of a game. We were up by 8. We can't let them back in. We're not gonna, the way we shot free throws tonight, I think we gotta practice these for like a week, come back next week and win 2 more. I think I'd kind of like to see Warsaw again. They've got us twice so far, and we want to get a chance at them again.
Well, I'm really glad to do this, fellas, because we won it last year, and we thought that we were just as good as the team last year. We knew we could beat these guys. We just had to wait to get it done.
On to the regionals tonight.
We're in that game. Upset win.
It was quite a game last night. Speed against power. The QND Raiders against the Warsaw Wildcats. And it was Warsaw who survived the battle. The wild Warsaw fans threw a party last night in Bushnell, but the Raiders from Notre Dame almost spoiled their fun. The game looked like it was in the bag for Warsaw. Big Steve Rothert had muscled his way for 19 points. But at the 6:37 mark, he picked up his 4th foul, and the rest of the team tried to protect a 46-35 lead. But Notre Dame came on. 10 straight points. This free throw by Mark Thomas made it a 1-point game with 2:37 to go. But after that, Rothert hit on 8 more points, and Notre Dame never could catch up again. 56-49 was the final score. Rothert ended up the game with 27 points, and Warsaw survives another round. They move on to tomorrow night's sectional championship game against Bath Balakai.
I'd have to say that their pressure really got to us, and I hope in the future, these next couple games, we can keep the tempo of the game more to a deliberate half-court, more style to our play.
Tremendous ball game. I mean, there were 2 teams out there that just played their hearts out tonight. QND with a lot of seniors, Warsaw with a lot of seniors, and there was 12, 14 kids out there that played tonight and just played their hearts out, and a lot of hustle, a lot of desire, and it's a shame one team had to lose, but you know, it came down to a few breaks maybe at the end of the ball game and a few free throws that we finally made at the end that pulled it out for us.
Even though you see things and you know of things that you didn't like, you survived another game, and you got to be happy with that.
Well, we're definitely pleased with that. It would have been, you know, we didn't play well tonight, but that was, you know, 99% of that was because of the way QND played. Their defense was just tremendous, I thought, and you know, we feel fortunate to win. But, you know, we expect our seniors to bend a little bit, which they did tonight. They bent a lot tonight, but they never did completely break, and that's just a tribute to those kids.
Warsaw takes a 25-2 record into tomorrow night's sectional championship game against Bath Balakai. For the Raiders, they end the season at 17-11. Head coach Bob Keyes talks about this special team.
In 16 years, 12 as head coach, it's my most enjoyable year. It's been my most fun year. And anybody that saw these kids play and didn't enjoy the brand of basketball and the things they did in the court, I think they're missing the wrong game.
Quincy High Blue Devils are
basketball. Warsaw held off a late charge by the Quincy Notre Dame Raiders to win last night's sectional semifinals at Bushnell Prairie City High School. What the Wildcats wanted to do was control the tempo and spread the scoring around. They couldn't do either, but their mistakes were overshadowed by one player, senior center Steve Rothert.
You know, you go into the halftime and look, and we're down 8, and you've held Rothert to 6. You knew something. We had done something right, and we did a better job on our support people the second half, but we left too many things open for Rothert. And of course, he showed what a great player he is.
Warsaw coach Dan Lucy gives high marks to a lot of his players, but the highest mark went to Rothert. He scored all but 4 of Warsaw's points in the second half, finishing with 30 for the night. Still, he wishes the game could have been different.
We had what we felt were a lot of foolish turnovers. We were pushing the ball at the floor, and you got to give credit to the QND for their pressure. I mean, they have a lot of quick-handed guards just everywhere on us, and they forced a lot of mistakes we made.
Tempo could well be another key in Friday's game with Balakai for the sectional crown. Coach Lucy says Balakai is a lot like QND.
They're capable of scoring large amounts of points in, you know, a short amount of time. Southeastern, I thought, did a real nice job of controlling their fast break. They didn't let them run up and down the floor, and that's, you know, we're obviously going to have to do that, keep them from running, and you know, try to keep the Clark kid in check a little bit. They've got the real fine little Fletcher, the point guard, who penetrates well, shoots a perimeter shot well. You know, they're just going to be a handful for us.
Warsaw's record now 25-2. The Raiders end their season at 17-11. 5 Win at Q Stadium. The Notre Dame Raiders shut out Liberty 10-zip. David Zanger, the winning pitcher. Jimmy Sohn provided most of the offense. He went 3 for 3 with 4 RBIs. And the Lady Raiders.
But they caught fire in the 6th inning. Let's go to the highlights right now. Anyway, QND Notre Dame hosted Carthage right here. Julia Miller was on the mound. She had her 3rd straight 2-hit shutout in postseason play. Now the Carthage team had a chance to score in the 1st inning. This is their best chance to score. Right there, Amy Peter makes a nice play, and then Carrie Voisin will gun down the Carthage girl at the plate. Nice block there by Stacy Weil. That was Carthage's best shot to score, but they didn't, and QND went into the bottom of the 1st, still scoreless. 1st inning action here. This is Missy Perrine with the single. That will score Julie Miller and Carrie Voisin, and that gave the Lady Raiders a 2-0 lead. Then the next batter up was Kim Morris. Michelle Arnold came in to score on this bunt, and then on a throwing error, Missy Perrine came in to score. That made it 4-0 in favor of the Lady Raiders. And then the next batter up, Kim Howell right here will get a big single, probably her biggest hit of her career. Jill Harden comes in to score. Kim Morris now wheels in across the plate. 6-0. The Lady Raiders held at that point. Carrie Voisin then will get a double to score another run in the 2nd inning. And the Lady Raiders went on to the victory. Let's see the scoreboard now. Okay, the score was 11-0 QND over Carthage in that ball game. QND now advances to the Beardstown sectional, and that ball game is coming up on Saturday. QND coach Bill Starkey talks about today's offensive explosion.
Oh, it's a game, Steve, that we needed. You know, you got a darn good team, real good team, Carthage, and good pitching, 2 good pitchers. And what do? We get 12 runs or 11 runs and 12 hits in 4 innings, and you know, it was just one of those you can never anticipate. And boy, you're just so happy when you explode like that.
Okay, in Class A baseball action, QND won their regional over Liberty 10-0, and Warsaw won the Central Regional by the score of 8-0. Well, it's time now for our WGEM athlete. Actually, this is a busier afternoon than usual, so cut this out. Let's go back to the normal stuff. I want to skate along in the afternoon. Well, Griffin was rained out, but Quincy Notre Dame did meet Tremont for the Beardstown Sectional Championship. Now, thanks to a pair of home runs by Mark Thomas and one by Jeff Zanger, the Raiders knocked off Tremont 5-3, and now they play in the state quarterfinals next Monday in Springfield.
You know, we've done that all season. We've only had one game this season where I felt that we didn't play good, sound, fundamental baseball. I think the turning point of the game was the play that Jerry Wellman made in left field down the line. He threw the ball to Thomas, and we got the kid at the plate for the first out of the inning. Otherwise, they'd probably scored and had another runner in scoring position. And our defense has picked us up all year, and especially the defense and the leadership of our seniors.
2nd straight trip to the state tournament. That's pretty nice.
Well, it's the team's 2nd straight. It's my first trip, and I've coached baseball for 8 or 9 years and got a chance now to go play in a big ballpark. I told the kids now as many home runs we've hit the last 2 days, we got to go back and start hitting line drives now because we're going to be in a big ballpark.
While the QND boys were winning their game also in Beardstown today, QND girls won the softball sectional title, but they had to overcome a big controversy in doing so. Apparently, the IHSA is cracking down on deliveries by pitchers across the state. Now, after a couple of years of inactivity, this weekend umpires began calling illegal pitches with regularity. One pitcher being scrutinized now is QND's Julie Miller. Today, Miller started her 5th straight postseason game for the Lady Raiders, but was called for 5 illegal pitches in the first 3 batters. And rather than doing nothing and watch the officials rule the game away, QND coach Bill Starkey replaced Miller with backup Jill Harden. And then at that point, Bluffs scored 1 run right off the bat, getting a run right here on this play to take a 1-0 lead in the 1st inning. But that's when Jill Harden calmed down and QND came roaring back. 3rd inning action here. Missy Perrine with a long double out to the outfield. That will score Carrie Voisin from 2nd base, and that will tie up the ball game at 1-1. A couple outs later, Kim Brown is the batter, and she will hit a double out to the right center field gap. That will score Perrine and Michelle Arnold, and QND would take a 3-1 lead, and that was enough runs for the ball game because in the ball game, QND won it by the score of 4-1. They now advance to the quarterfinals Monday in Pekin, and after the game, Bill Starkey and Jill Harden talk about the big victory.
Yeah, I got to be careful what I say. Stay away from the profanity. You know, it's sad when they try to take the games out of the kids' hands. You've got a good pitcher, and they only do this with good pitchers. and they want to equalize it, so to speak, or, you know, more of an involvement on the behalf of the umpires, and that's a kid's game. You know, it's been this way. She's been to the state tournament before and pitched there before, and we've never had a problem with that. And now today, and, you know, in the sectional and the other day, they want to take the ball out of her hands, and we showed them what we're made out of.
This has got to be the biggest game you've ever pitched.
It sure has been. It was a real big game. I was pretty nervous going in at the beginning, so once we got the runs, it wasn't too bad. But
I saw after the game you looked a little bit excited about what all had happened.
Yeah.
Tell me what was going through your mind after the game was over and you'd really come through and saved your team.
I was so happy because all we wanted to do was just go to state. We didn't really care if we won or lost. I mean, we loved to win, but we just wanted to go, and I just wanted to do it for Julie. She's worked so hard, and I mean, she handled so much at the last game, you know. She wouldn't have handled the way she did, we wouldn't have been there today, so.
All right, so the boys and girls in the state quarterfinals next Monday. QND, and the Cogs of Rochester got to him early. First inning, Ryan Cunningham led off with a windblown triple. He was there for the next man, who was Dave White. And as you'll see Dave White coming up right here, he'll slap the ball over to the right side, get the ground out. We'll get the Cunningham coming in scoring right here, and Rochester led it 1-0 right off the bat. That seemed to spark the Rochester team because they were full of spirits today. They made it 2-0 in the third inning with 2 outs. Jeff Ramsey singled in Cunningham again, and that made it 2-0 in the third inning. Now, Rochester could have scored more in this inning, but here Jerry Wellman ends the inning with a nice catch out in left field. 2-0 after 3, Rochester in the lead. Well, QND cut the deficit in half in the fourth, 2 outs, and Jeff Zanger intentionally got caught in a rundown. You saw Jimmy Sohn score there from third base. He was banged up a little bit, stayed in the game. QND trailed just 2-1. But in the fifth inning, the Raiders did themselves in on a double play ball. Second baseman Jimmy Sohn with the bobble. The run will score on the throw, and then the throw went into the dugout. Another runner came in to score at that point. That made it 4-1 in favor of Rochester. But they smelled the blood, and they went after the jugular right here. Next man up, John Bowlby, and you can see where he put the ball up and over the fence. That made it 6-1, and Rochester had a very comfortable lead at that point. Now, QND did come back in this ball game, but they could not come back far enough. Right here, Mark Thomas had a chance to be the winning run right here if he'd have got all the way around, but he made the final out of the ball game on that ground out. Let's see the final score now. It was Rochester 6, QND 3. The Raiders end the season at 25-8, and after today's loss, I talked with QND head coach Jim Shields.
Well, Steve, when you give another team 5, 6 outs an inning, it's really tough to come back. Our kids got the bases loaded in the 7th inning. We had the people coming up that's driven in the runs for us all day. We didn't give up, but you're right. Jimmy Sohn hasn't made an error at second base all season until today, and he's done a terrific job. Thomas has done a terrific job up the middle for us, and we got a fine group of kids here at Notre Dame that represented us well at the state tournament.
At the beginning of the season, had anyone said you'd be back here, you'd have taken it, wouldn't you?
I would have taken it. I would have told them they were crazy, but I would have taken it. We came together as a team this year primarily due to our senior leadership. 14 of our kids that were here today out of the 18 are underclassmen, and we got 2 sophomore pitchers and a good freshman pitcher. And, you know, there's no reason to think that we shouldn't set our sights to be back here again next year at this time.
Well, let's hope the QND softball team has a little bit better luck. They're in the state quarterfinals tonight at 7:30 in Pekin against once-beaten Genio Kingston. The Lady Raiders are 28-5 on the season. Well, what a fun day yesterday out at and awarded the prestigious Presidential Scholarship at Quincy College.
Well, I think they have a real good program out there, and their science program and all-around fine arts program is real well. So I thought it'd be a good choice academically to go out there, and they're real good with career placement and stuff like that. So I thought it'd be a good choice. I think Quincy College has a fine tradition of softball, and I hope I can just make it better. Also, John Sussman is a fine coach, and I think he can really help me with my pitching out there.
Jeff Zanger plans to put on the catching gear next season for Illinois Wesleyan. Zanger led QND to 2 straight trips to the Illinois State Baseball Tournament.
I talked to many people around the area, and they said that it's got a very strong baseball program, and their academics would challenge me, and right now that's what I'm looking for. I wanted to go there because it's got a strong academic and athletic base, and I wanted a strong curriculum so I can because I'm undecided, and that way, you know, I can decide sophomore year and still be able to not just to go 4 years.
Zanger was also one of the top area basketball players this past season, and if his studies and baseball allow, he'll give that a shot at Illinois Wesleyan.
I think I can handle one, but I might try out for basketball. But if the academic load gets to be too much, you know, if I get behind in academics, I'll probably drop basketball and just stick with baseball.
At Wimbledon today, the 4 women's
I'll be able to listen to the game tomorrow afternoon. WGEM AM got together with several businesses and decided to broadcast the game live. Airtime is 4:50 and the game begins at 5:05 on AM 1440. Well, the National League has reserved comment on Billy Hatcher's stuffed bat.
The O'Donnell's fast pitch softball.
Keokuk. Well, the Quincy Legion has never been called, or has been called, a never say die team because of all the comebacks they've made this year. After losing last night to Vancouver, Quincy can only lose one more time or else they're eliminated from the Legion World Series. And this afternoon at Stevens Point, Wisconsin, they need to begin making a comeback. Going into the 5th inning, Quincy is trailing Boyertown, Pennsylvania 4-0. And I'll remind you, you can listen to the game now on WGEM FM 105.